Hello, as you can see today, I'm wearing my yellow jacket in solidarity with our cousins across the water in France. I wanted to do something on this sort of 2, 3 weeks ago. I was interested when I first saw the protests. The protesters were making a bit of a song and dance, but they seemed to be sort of quite polite. I remember I was watching a live stream, and there was a bicycle in the middle of the road, and one of the protesters picked it up. Didn't throw it through a shop window. They just steered it to the side of the pavement and rested it next to the wall, so hoping that the owner would come along later. Obviously, since then, there's been other people involved, and we seem to be smashing things up and doing all sorts of naughty things like that. But it's so easy to understand why they're doing this. Their fuel costs, I think, have been put up by about 30%, and they don't seem to have much of a say over what happens. What I don't like is that it's being done on fairly spurious grounds. The old climate change rubbish. It really does. It's the naturally occurring sunspots and all sorts of solar things going on that have always happened are being used as a justification to make us pay more money for everything. And the French are the first to crack. It'd be great if we cracked over here. Instead of just shrugging our shoulders, which is what we normally do. So good on them for doing it. Obviously, we don't want to see cars being overturned and burnt. And my experience of watching protests over the years is that actually protests don't make a great deal of difference. Sometimes elections don't make a great deal of difference, and votes don't make a lot of difference. I mean, just say if a majority of people voted to do something, and then that never happened, one would think, well, maybe people should take to the streets. And so it's just the car and fuel and tax, that's part of the issue. But if you dig a little deeper, it's a bit more complicated than that. It's spending a lot of money that they don't seem to have, and they're obviously targeting the hard-working working class. It doesn't seem to be a political movement because left and right are all involved in it, but it's going to lead to maybe a revolution in France. Yeah, we haven't had a revolution there for a while, so that might be fun to watch. But maybe there should be revolutions all over the world where people say, well, I've just had enough of you telling me what I can and can't do. Governments are supposed to do what we tell them. They're not supposed to be masters of us. So this is a manifestation of that. So there you go, a little bit of politics that we've done today, but nothing partisan. So if anybody wants to get a yellow jacket protest going on, providing I'm not doing anything, providing I haven't got a dinner party on, or I've got somewhere to go, or something to do, I'll be there. So I look forward to that. But yeah, well done to the French for at least standing up, which is what they do.